Yeah, it's basically a creature that it's like a worm, but we can't see them, and they're floating all around us.
Oh, hold that thought. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of the Drunken Cryptid Spooky Coffee. I have some of my close dear friends joining me all the way from the great flat state of Kansas. You know, I love you guys, even though your state is flat. And I can say that because I've lived there and been there.
Yeah, I
And
know
coming back,
exactly where you're. But to be fair, there's a hill there. There's at least a hill in Junction City.
there is. Yeah, they call it Custer Hill actually, and we used to run it all the time at Fort Riley, and it was quite entertaining. But yeah, there's like little small little like mounds. I want to really call them hills. There's some.
Yeah.
That was pretty much about all. I mean, that's where the trees and everything would be the wadi. So, but
Yeah, once you get out in western Kansas, it is just
Flat.
flat.
well, good morning, guys. Thanks for joining me for a special edition.
Well, we're happy to be here.
Yep.
All right, of course, we got JD and Larry from Chumming with the Spirits. So, hope everybody's having a great morning so far this morning. Hope everybody had a wonderful Valentine's Day. It is special last week of talking about Valentine's and the history of it and where it came from. And, you know, there seems to be a lot of hate for Valentine's right now. You notice that?
Well, to be honest, though, we're on half-price chocolate and candy day now. This is a good day to celebrate.
Suck. I just went to Dollar General to Diet Coke. I should have gotten some of that.
So if you didn't have a good Valentine's Day, you at least have that to look forward to today. Everything should be half price, maybe up to 75% off. You know, if somebody didn't get you some heart-shaped chocolates, go buy them yourself for a quarter of what they normally cost.
Me and Ben popped into a Walmart yesterday, and they already had like a lot of the shelves already cleared out of stuff. I mean, gone. And I was just getting a kick out of it. You know, the spring stuff down here is starting to come out, getting ready for it. I mean, it's a little chilly. I mean, I'm wearing shorts and a hoodie. I'm comfortable. I was gonna have the t-shirt on. I was in a Sport Shaw's t-shirt, but you know, not with the weather.
It's all good. I got you covered though.
You're rocking it. I got the hoodie going. And of course, you guys know if you do want one of these awesome, you know, kick-ass hoodies that I'm sporting right now, you can go ahead and message me and we can get you one set up. I have Chris's here. He has one that's been ordered. Who is blowing me up? Oh, okay. And it's the Nevermore Hollows and the Miss Monster Mullet guys. I see here someone's jumped into the chat. Before we get into but I broke down. Let's see here. Good morning, gentlemen. Lisa, good morning. Y'all remember Lisa?
Yes. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
So I will actually be me and Jacob are going up there next Saturday.
I still can't figure out what
Lisa and Ray, we said hi and hope you have a good time. Hopefully we get some more evidence up there.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. They have some really interesting tracks during the snowstorm that happened. So, yeah, TV's ramping up. Season's over.
I was going to say during rainy season would be a good time to go up after a good rain and check out the areas.
Well, we haven't had a lot of rain, so it's not going to be that muddy. But, you know, and what we noticed, too, you know, if you remember, the tracks that we were finding, you know, weren't like the typical, you know, 18-inch, you know, size tracks that, you know, everybody talks about. We were getting the normal, like, you know, 12-inch, you know, 13-inch.
That knuckle print was pretty big.
That was a big knuckle track. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That was.
But I mean, you're right though that most of the ground has foliage on it, so there's not a lot of muddy areas for something to be a pure mud print.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it gets distorted by the foliage in that. But
that's true. Good morning, Charles. Charles is our on-hand astronomer that we have that does a lot of help with some of the strange objects in space that we have, like you know the 3 Atlas that was coming in. Me and Charles did a really good episode on that one way before, you know, everybody else talking about it being some kind of like, you know, UFO type of, you know, object. Well, which it is. It was a UFO, but not in like, you know, an alien technology craft.
I have a question for him real quick. If he can explain it to me, why does it seem that nowadays compared to like when we were kids, the North Star used to be the brightest star in the sky, and now it's Sirius, and the North Star pointed north, which it doesn't anymore.
Charles, I'll let you go ahead and type in your answer for that one. Lisa says it is muddy here. Had a lot of rain yesterday. Yeah. I mean, today would be a good day for y'all to get out there and look. I may have Sammy with me next Saturday, depending upon her mom's schedule. So Miss Lucy may get a chance to meet Sammy when me and Jacob roll up there. So
I need to get out and practice my scanning to get those, be able to scan the footprints better. Because we have a couple locations here near KC that has some activity that we need to go check out. We were preferring when it warmed up. We're fair weather Bigfoot hunters, or cryptid.
Yeah.
Interest perfectly. But we got 2 locations that last year they had some activity. One year has activity every year. They've got a hand cast and a footprint from.
How come we never get butt prints from them sitting in the ground?
They do. You just got to go to the museums to see them. They're so big. Expedition Bigfoot got one. Finding Bigfoot actually got it. It's a nest that has a butt cheek to the side and where the hand was, where it pushed itself up off the bed.
Did not see that episode.
But they're rare because what they're finding out, they make beds just like us. They're probably old and can't just sleep on the ground. They got to have fir branches, and they put branches and stuff down to make it a little more comfortable. I heard an interesting theory on the wood structures that a guy was talking about. He thinks that the wood structures are hunting blinds.
That's been me.
Was that you that was talking about that?
Yeah, that was me that was talking about that.
Hunting blinds.
Yeah. So what inspired me for that one was the structure that it was up in, the first time we went up to Bald Knob with Chris, and the structure that we had that we found. And I wish I had access. Funny, we're talking about this. I would have pulled the pictures that had them ready to go so we could share them. But that one structure, the way it was designed, the way it looked, it reminded me so much of a hunting blind. There was 2 game trails, parallel to it that ran right beside it. It would just be easy for them to just reach on out and grab something. So, well, good morning, Kraken. Kraken Cans Cast.
What's up, guys?
So, I've been kicking around that idea of.
Well, I'll be honest. That structure that we looked at, because it wasn't that tall, that would have been perfect if you're crouched.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was a game trail we were on,
or in a spider trail, or in a spider crawl.
That's what I was talking about. If you're down like that, you could shoot out fast, grab whatever. And they got deer in the area. That's evident by the bones.
Is it a possibility that they aren't hunting blinds, but Bigfoot are actually studying us and our planet in their observation posts?
Well, so as I was interviewed for Linda Eastburn's show the other day, and we got onto this topic, and I'd like to tell everybody, says, one, I don't think we give them enough credit for their intelligence, but I think we give them too much as well. They don't know what this is. They don't know that we're taking their picture. They don't know that we're, even photographing or anything like that at all. They don't know. What they do know is that we're a strange creature out there that's not necessarily strange anymore. They've been dealing with this for eons, like we've been dealing with them. They just choose to avoid us. Why they do that, I don't know. Why are they so reclusive? I don't know. Are they their own separate,
think about it.
Sentient species that's on the planet?
Let's be honest. They're used to walking around with hair all over their bodies. That's just normal. And then they see a mini version of them that's naked and has rags on them. That'd just be odd. It'd be like seeing a person walk around with just a loincloth. You're not gonna, you're kind of avoid them most of the time.
So that brings me.
And we probably smell horrible to them.
I bet we do.
Smell, compared to how we smell, it's probably like, oh my God, they smelled like fresh water.
We're looking at this one. It could be like an I Am Legend scenario where they're normal, but we are the infected species. But we become self-aware and more intelligent because of that.
Yeah, but talking about that, when you go into a lot of the Native American legends, is some of them were tribes, but mankind had done wrong things and they moved away, went back to more nature, and that's, but it's no different than why don't we have coyotes living all around us? Well, it's because generally people shoot the coyotes or trap them, and you see that, and then you go, oh, those little heifers are bad.
Well, so you were talking about structures, though. So that Rod Nichols out of San Antonio, who's going to be a VIP speaker for the wonderful Arkansas Cryptid Fest coming up in June. He has been doing extensive research since 2020 on the structures that he has in the area, and has a ton of good theories. So he's going to put on a really good presentation to really break those down and talk about the Cryptid Fest.
So has
You like how I tied that
anybody
in?
Yes.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome.
You know who else is going to be speaking there?
I
Miss
do.
Monsters and Toys.
John
Method Camp.
Oh, Method Camp. He'll be there. Y'all will be there.
Yeah.
Speaking, Dano's going to be there from the Cryptid Podcast. You know,
Then you got
Nevermore Hollows.
Nevermore Hollows. We
Is
also
he
got.
going to bring some of his seasonings to sell?
Hopefully.
I will
looks
tell you
like-
guys. Okay, so you talked about the seasonings. Okay, so Flavors of the Forest was nice enough and sent me a little package.
Nice.
And of all their garlic, you know, Big Fish garlic breath, all of that stuff, absolutely amazing. To where me and Sammy put this. I mean, it's almost like that, you know, that Frank's commercial. I put that on everything. I mean,
Yeah.
we are using it constantly. And then with Mike's, you know, little doggy, his seasoning that he made, I put some of that on. So we found these Detroit style pieces at Walmart yesterday. And so I got Supreme. And so I sprinkled some of Mike's seasoning on it. Oh man. You know, I put it on half, and the half with it on there was amazing. Gave it just a little bit of a kick and everything. Okay, so all right, Larry. So Charles responded back with your question about the North Star was the Earth wobbles just like a top. It takes 26,000 years to make one wobble. Because of this wobble, the pole makes a circle. In 13,700 years, the bright star Vega will be close to the Earth's North Pole in the sky. Currently, the pole is moving away from Polaris. As for the brightness of Polaris, that has not changed. It never has been very bright. It is only important because of its position.
Interesting. I love it.
Thank you, Charles.
Yeah, thank you, Charles.
I told
Charles is a great guy. So I've had Charles on the show twice. And Charles, by the way, they somebody donated $1.2 million to reopen our astronomy center here thing
Nice.
that has
wow.
not been open for over 20 years.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, they're predicting it'll be open up and running by fall of this year. So me and the kids will definitely be checking that out.
So has anybody ever tried? Sorry, I got to get this rabbit hole out of my head before I lose it. Has anybody ever tried to recreate one of those hunting blinds that they found and set up cameras and stuff in it to see if the Bigfoot will use them?
It
I'm
probably
sure-
has been done.
I'm sure there has been. I'm sure there has been somebody that has go out there, but you can tell a difference between when we make them and they versus they make them. I had Scott Brush send me a video the other day when he was out doing his research, and he came across a woven circle. I mean, it was all all woven, intertwined, and how it was, you know, how they built it. And he goes, it was sitting up in a tree. He actually had to climb up to get it out of the tree to look at it. But you can tell the difference when we do it versus when they do it. You know, some of their structures. So I think also if we put something near or in one of their structures, it'd be like if somebody came into your house and put something odd in your house. They're going, oh, I'm not going there.
Like,
you know what I mean?
if I came through your house and tilted every single picture.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
But I mean, the people don't realize the plastics on the cameras. It has a smell,
Yeah.
and depending on what light spectrum that they're in, it reflects differently versus natural. So there's telltale signs, which is, you know, that goes down a rabbit hole of why there may not be as many trail cam photos of them. You know, they're only being caught at certain distances because they may be able to they may be able to smell them or possibly see the difference. I know, I'm not saying they have thermal, but I know on thermal, when you swing around, a trail cam on a tree stands out bad because it reflects it. The light reflects off of the lens that they have in the light, and then it's not the same temperature as what the tree is. So, you know, or if you have IR, it reflects differently.
They also they may have some sort of evolutionary trait that they can sense electromagnetism.
Well, I mean that I didn't even think about that, but people can pick up that sort of stuff. But the I don't know if the batteries would be that strong, but the batteries produce, if it's a standard nickel AAA battery, actually produces chemical reaction. That's how you get the electricity. It puts off fumes.
Mm-hmm.
That's also why when they go bad, they start corrode. Well, that's a smell that's not supposed to be out in the woods. So I mean, I guess we need to make a chemical camera at some point, or just put somebody up in a tree.
So it goes back to like one of my original theories that the movie Predator was based upon a Sasquatch encounter.
Yeah, I would agree.
To be honest with you, and if you remember the end of the movie, Arnold had to use, natural material to go ahead to defeat the Predator. Have you guys seen the new one yet? Predator Badlands?
No, I haven't seen that one yet. I've seen the highlights, but I haven't watched the whole one yet. Yeah.
So I spun it up the other night, and I actually enjoyed it. I really did. I like it, the new take on it, how they worked it. But again, watching it with the theory that I have in my head, it does the same thing. This Predator does the same thing that Arnie did in the first one.
So of all things, there's a podcast called Unsubscribed, which it's a bunch of gun YouTubers. Well, a few gun YouTubers and then some other
pew YouTubers.
Pew YouTubers, but they were talking about the Predator. They did a test because I mean they have all the thermals and all that. They were really surprised at how little it takes of mud to block thermal. Like they were like they were on like it's either going to take a whole lot or be kind of little. He says the minute somebody started walking out in a muddy pool set up, he says the minute they could see the splashes of the legs coming up and it was blocking the IR the minute it touched the body. Wow. He was like holy cow, they got that right in the movie. Because I mean, thermal back then, when a lot of people don't realize thermal was like $15,000 plus back when Predator was made. I mean those cameras were FLIRs literally off the front of
and they were also
helicopters. Well, yeah, they were
giant.
They're shoulder mounted to try to get that technology. I mean, now you got it in the pocket, but.
Well, on that note too, though, so I can't remember the guy's name. He's on Expedition Bigfoot. He wears the grunt style shirts.
Russell Cord.
He talked about because people asked him. Thank you for that, by the way. People asked him how
we got you back.
These things cannot appear on thermal cameras, and he goes, "Well, we did a test." He goes, "I submerged myself in cold water." He said, and I climbed out, and he said, and for a not real long, but long enough, he said, the only thing you can see was my head. Just because water? The water lowered everything down and kind of shielded them from it. And so the mud would kind of make sense as well. So let's talk about that too, though. So if they have a really thick fur hide, is that shielding them? Is that helping keep their body heat trapped in, especially up in the northern territories, when it's, harsher winters?
Yeah, the hair structures like polar bears are actually hollow. They actually insulate the body so they don't lose as much heat off of it. And again, I've never I guess technically the only clean Bigfoot I've ever really seen was the Patterson Gimli film. That Patsy looks fairly clean, but most of the other times when they show stuff, they're kind of matted. I mean, you'd expect some matting or some mud.
Is it possible that their fur emits some type of oil that causes reflective tendencies? That's why,
or shields it. Yeah,
or shields it
because it could waterproof their fur, which then reduce the heat signature.
Interesting.
But I don't know. They've had drone footage of things walking upright, and they picked it up that way. So I mean, can they regulate their body temperatures? Like if they're sitting still, and who knows? There's so many questions.
There is, but so I'm trying to look at Todd Nees talks about it. Todd Nees talks all the time. He's trying to find a natural explanation for some of the behaviors, and some of the physical aspects what these creatures emit. And because there's a lot of people on the supernatural side of the house, a lot of people that believe they're interdimensional beings, which is all very well could be. Nobody really knows. I'm always trying to break it down, look at the fur. So is the fur not? I mean, just the way designed to keep their and what would be the purpose for that animal itself? It's not to hide from us. Everybody has it in their head. For some reason, the Sasquatch is out there. and everything that it does is to avoid man. It's a
Oh, no.
to stay away from us. It has to be some sort of natural thing. Like I'd say, they have no idea what the heck this is.
But
So-
I mean, they're in the same. Oh, go ahead.
Tell Todd that someone has already figured this out the natural way. Quote from Dr. Ian Malcolm: "Nature always finds a way."
You can tell them that yourself when you see them at the Arkansas Cryptid Festival.
Actually,
But-
you can tell them that yourself. You can tell them that yourself next
Yeah.
month when you guys come down for the
true.
hunt.
Oh,
He's gonna be there.
But I mean, keep in mind, most of the Bigfoot territory is in the same area as brown bear, black bear, mountain lions, other natural predators. So you would think they would have adapted to be able to get around those, because you don't want to have to fight that type of thing all the time, even if you're the apex of that area. So I mean, you would think there's a natural reason for some of it. But I also think we keep on throwing multiple creatures in the same box.
Mhm.
Like we say it's all Bigfoot, but the Dogman encounters are getting more and more. I used to kind of pass that off until, talking with Brian Goddard with Cryptid Paranormal. Me and him had a 2-hour conversation off camera about it, and I was like, he actually turned me around. I was like, there's some possibilities in that. Well, land between the lakes stories. But what I'm saying is there's paranormal things that happen in these woods that I think gets thrown in as, well, that's a Bigfoot. It may not be. It may be an extra dimensional being, or it could be purely supernatural or paranormal that this is taking on certain forms.
Wendigo, skinwalkers.
Yeah, I mean, when you get a Native American
I'm gonna fall back on my usual theory here. I think if you all listen to the show long enough, you already know the Fae.
Yeah.
So real quick, hey, good morning, Andrew. Andrew says, I doubt that Bigfoot bathe. Well, Andrew, I'm going to disagree with that one. I do think that they will bathe. Most animals and every animal that I know of does do a type of grooming. Bears do it. Cats do it. Deers do it. They do rubbing, they do scrapings, they do a whole bunch. So I don't see a reason why, primates are really, really big on bathing and cleaning.
They just don't use deodorant. That's the big problem.
Do what?
They just don't use deodorant. That's the big problem.
That's true. Or they're using skunks, using a skunk to kind of.
Yeah.
Is that old comic, with the bears out in the woods, and he goes, "Hey, do you have a problem with poo sticking to your fur?" And the rabbit goes, "No."
Yeah. No, that's good.
I'll leave it at that.
So
the audience can go ahead and remember.
I've been seeing a lot of people on TikTok lately saying, "Hey, this is our family's poop knife. We got a new one. What's that all about?"
Don't look up poop knife.
Okay,
Oh no, that's not.
That's a regional thing.
it's a reasonable thing.
But no, we are. But yeah, we are going up to Rain Lisa's property next Saturday. Me and Jacob are, and then we're coming up. Me and Jacob are also coming up to you guys on March 7th, right?
Correct.
So
So
what do you
tell everybody
You're
what
gonna
we're
be a
doing
special
on March
guest.
7th.
You're going to be a special guest for the group that we have going out. Some of them may be watching, some of them may not. We actually just got confirmation. Darkwoods will also be there as a special guest with you guys. It's a larger location. We're going to be at the Sleeper Mortuary in Iowa, Kansas. It's owned by Tori Hoff. Amazing person, amazing location. You need to bring your old style mag lights, the ones that twist to turn on. They love them. They'll mess with a K2 meter a little. They love REM pods, which we'll have a couple for you to move around. But we have gotten more reactions from the twist style mag lights, like on them. Can you turn it on and it comes on? Can you turn it off? Can it goes off? We actually had some of that on one of our lives that we did from there.
Yeah.
We will be doing a live from there probably around 9:00 that night on Saturday. Do it for about an hour. Show everybody that's there. We have a bunch of people that are there that are part of that event, are very well known in the Facebook community for paranormal investigations. So I just want to make sure that they're okay with us calling them out at if they want to be on the podcast live, they'll hop in. If not, they'll be busy investigating. But it is a very active location. It's 3 floors. You got a basement, first floor, and then second floor. we've had activity on all three levels.
It's going to be warm this time.
The upper level is always warm. The middle level, the first floor, can get a little cool, and the basement and the garage are definitely if it's below freezing outside, it's cold. But Jen actually got touched on the live, one of the lives that we did.
Mm-hmm.
So the basement has activity. Offbeat Paranormals helped us out a couple times there. They've gotten activity in the basement where they've seen shadows, because there's columns that support the whole building underneath there. And they were talking about it looked like they were slowly coming towards them. It was an active mortuary. They do have trigger objects all throughout the building. A full kitchen. For what the style that we do, or we do a podcast live and do investigations, and we have the DVR. It really lends itself, that location, to our style of investigations. We still have video to go through. Of course, when you run 6 cameras for 12 hours, that's a lot of investigation. We actually got to pull them off. Offbeat's gonna. They've offered to help go through footage. We just got to get it to them, and we'll have the same thing. We'll have either 6 to 8 cameras set up on this next one. We know some hot spots, so we definitely want to make sure we have cameras that can reach that area.
We should put one in that room with the knocking.
Oh, yeah. At least turn it towards the door so it doesn't capture whoever's sleeping.
Yeah.
So there's a room that at night has had knocking from inside the room. Offbeat and Larry have experienced it personally. Actually, and then we had another couple. They had the same thing. They thought it was the heater baseboards, and when they walked out, checked the other room, there's no baseboard heater on that side. But it's only in the room because you don't hear it in the hallway. So
that'll be me. I'll take it. I'll take that room.
No. It's a and Offbeat had actually said that. Oh, you just tell them, hey, it's time to go to bed. We need to sleep, and it'll stop. We have noticed the more we kind of ignore things, you just like talk and just because like we're gonna do it's a chumming and coloring event, so there'll be coloring books, pencil boxes, and we'll have a pizza party. You guys are gonna talk. We get activity during that when we're not actively investigating. It's like they are getting used to people being there, and they kind of like that. The attention, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we were all sitting in the main room on the upstairs floor just talking. Jen was there, Jason was there, and then a couple of Jen's nephews were there. And all of us heard in the middle of the room that we're all standing around talking sound like a little girl just start going, "Hey!" And we all looked at each other and was like, "Who was that?"
Yeah, they've gotten
that might scare Jacob. I'm not gonna. I love Jacob. Jacob. So the one thing about Jacob is again, I give Jacob a hard time. And if you listen to the show, you guys know. I mean, you guys have been around Jacob. Well, I give him such a hard time. I won't let nobody else, but I'll give. And my only honest concern is that Jacob is really sensitive. He's really open to this stuff, but it scares him at the same time. So he's actually going to be the one carrying around the holy water to make sure that he's to where he feels better, if that makes sense. I want to make sure that he understands that he's good, and nothing's going to happen to him.
I love Jacob because he is honest. He's like, I don't know how I'm going to react. Like I'm like, fair enough. That is a truly honest. Just like, hey.
Oh, geez, that scared the crap out of me.
But there's technically they're kids. There's certain rooms that get activity like kids are playing. There's been female voices, girls' voices, whistles, lights have turned on automatically. I had we didn't catch it on camera. The DVR system wasn't recording right. I personally, the hall light was on. I walked into the kitchen because a REM pod was going off. There's another door in the kitchen that goes to the hallway, and I was like, my peripheral, I was like, well, that's kind of odd. Somebody turned the hall light off, and I turned and looked, and it shifted, and I was like, this large black mass was blocking the light, like the light was off, and shifted down the hallway, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then Larry saw something similar earlier that day. So there's the hallway seems to be active, but it seems to be only active when people aren't
Paying
looking.
attention.
Yeah. But it's going to be a fun time no matter what. The people that are going to be there are amazing. And there's a few of them are actually going to be down for Arkansas Cryptid Festival, so you'll get to meet them before. So
I'm
we're
excited.
looking forward to it. Yeah.
Well, real quick. So, okay, Andrew, so you asked when my San Antonio trip is. Okay, so I have not planned a San Antonio trip. We're talking about the Kansas trip in a couple of weeks. 3 weeks is what we're talking about with the mag lights. But yeah, if you got a few of those beanie mag lights, I'll be more than happy to borrow them for a little bit. I appreciate that. So,
yeah. I would love to do that one.
I want to go to the big thicket.
the
in
big
Texas.
ticket.
You tar rabbit?
No, you've heard of it, right?
No.
It's an area in Texas that has cryptids, aliens, paranormal, off the charts.
You know, if Steamboat was on here, he would probably know exactly what you're talking about.
I
was gonna
believe it's
say,
in Western
You'll
Texas.
have a chance to talk to the Kling brothers
Oh, yeah.
because they're from Texas. They're based out of San Antonio. They're coming up for the Paracon KC August 1st. So I'm looking
I
forward to that.
think I'm supposed to be going to that. I think Jason
August
was
1st,
messaging me.
You just
I
did
can't
it.
remember what was. Oh, okay, that's a kid weekend. Yeah, I need to get details and everything off the air about that.
Yeah, we'll help you out with that.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about. Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that off the air. So, but all right. So, what else we had? So we had Valentine's Day yesterday. All right, and me and the kiddos played video games, and obviously had pizza, and we had our own like Reese's peanut butter cup chocolate
you do?
things. Ben had gummies.
What you do on the Friday the 13th?
Friday the 13th. I'm glad you brought that up. That was so like I see how I was trying to transition into all this wonderful stuff right here.
You know,
All
we got
right.
another one coming up next month too.
No shit.
Do we have another one coming up next month? In
I
March?
think
We
so.
have one in March?
I thought it was in March. Let me
I didn't.
We sure do. Yep, we have one right there in March. Yeah.
How often does that happen back to back? That's
A
not,
week.
That's not,
Yep. A week after our trip up to see you guys.
that's not a normal occurrence, is it?
no, it's rare. Usually only get about one Friday the 13th a month.
I think we got 4 this year.
Jason's gonna be happy.
Yeah, I think
It's
we
rare
got
to get
4
it
of
in
them.
October.
Yeah, I think there's 4 of them. So let's talk about Friday the 13th and why everybody thinks that Friday the 13th is such a horrible bad luck day. All right, so you guys ready for some history of this?
Because of
yeah.
Jason Voorhees.
All right,
Yeah.
so I've got it broken down into a pretty much kind of simple little bullets and everything like that. So that way we're not going to go do like an hour and a half conversation about everything that took place. But the history of Friday the 13th is a combination of centuries old religious traditions, historical events, and modern pop culture. While the separate fears of the number 13 and the day Friday have existed for millennia, their union as a single unlucky day is a relatively recent phenomenon, likely solidifying in the 19th and early 20th centuries. Now, under the religious and mythological origins, right? Now, this is what was really cool. So we all know, mainly those of us pretty much have an idea. And JD, you and me had this conversation. And on Friday, it was funny. Me and Ben were putting up flyers for the Cryptid Fest. We went to this used bookstore, and Ellie's like, "Yeah, it's Friday the 13th." And I brought up what a lot of people discuss when it comes to the Friday the 13th being a unlucky day, and that is with the Knights of the Templar in 1307. On Friday, October 13th, 1307, King Philip IV of France ordered the mass arrest of hundreds of members of the Knights of the Templar. While some cite this as a primary origin, many historians believe that this connection was popularized later by literature like the Da Vinci Code. Okay? So that's where a lot of people have this idea, but it goes even further back than that. All right? So the Last Supper, because you guys know I'm going to get a little religious on this. There were 13 guests at the table, Jesus and his 12 apostles. And the 13th guest was Judas. Jesus was crucified on a Friday, often referred to as Good Friday. So that's where part of the whole entire Friday the 13th comes in at. Now, in Norse mythology, this is kind of crazy. Kind of ties in a little similar with the Last Supper. A similar narrative exists in Norse lore where the trickster god Loki arrived as the uninvited 13th guest at a banquet in Valhalla, leading to the death of the beloved god Baldur.
Baldur.
And of course, biblical lore, some of the traditions claim that other fateful events occurred on Fridays, such as Eve giving Adam the forbidden fruit or Cain murdering his brother Abel. Now, we did talk about the Knights of the Templar. Now, in Victorian times, the specific combination of Friday and 13 as a double whammy of bad luck gained significant traction in the late 19th century. An early documented reference appears in the 1869 biography of Italian composer Gioacchino Rossini, who died on a Friday the 13th. Now, they did do it. Now, this is pretty cool. To debunk superstition, Captain William Fowler founded the 13 Club in New York City, where, this is in 1882, where members dined in groups of 13 and deliberately broke popular superstitions. Several U.S. presidents, including Theodore Roosevelt and Grover Cleveland, were members. Now, Thomas Lawson's novel in 1907, the publication of the novel Friday the 13th by businessman Thomas W. further disseminated the fear, depicting a broker who crashes the stock market by exploiting the superstition. And of course, now we know that in modern culture, we have, the Friday the 13th movie series. We have, Jason Voorhees. We have a whole bunch. So, lost the feed? Somebody just mentioned lost the feed.
Yeah, the live just ended.
It did?
Mm-hmm.
On what?
On Facebook. Let me,
It did? I'm so...
Talking about stuff I'm supposed to be talking about.
Let's check this out. Hang on a second. What we got going on here?
We're still live on YouTube.
It says that we're still live here on Facebook. Let's see here. Continue uploading.
Live. Let me.
We are still, everything's. Yeah, I'm still showing live on Riverside, live on YouTube, and live on
Facebook is no longer live. YouTube's still live. Huh.
Well, how do we do that? How do we change?
That wasn't you. That's to try to re-enable it. I'm not sure if you can. You'd have to.
Yeah, it sure did stop on here. Yep, it did.
You're just gonna have to repost this as. That was odd because it didn't. It was just going. I didn't see anything in the comments or anything like,
here. Let's stop.